Hi, I'm here with Greg Curda today, a colleague from Steinshare who works with students on film and TV. And we're going to talk a little bit about how sound makes a setting. I think about those old Western movies that were silent, no musical background, you just hear the clip-clop of horses, and how that was a whole different feeling than movies today where the sound actually controls the watcher and what they feel.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, some of the old Westerns that you're talking about, like the Sergio Leone movies in particular, the absence of sound was actually part of the concept. And the sparseness of the effects, just the horsefoots, just the footsteps of the bad guy coming in, that was all part of the effect to add tension. Oh. Now, in more current times, we use the ambient sounds, we call it, or backgrounds, to set the scene. And in fact, that's the function of the backgrounds, to set the scene. You can have no picture. For instance, the picture can be black, and this is used many times, and you can start to hear a certain ambience, and you know already where you are. It gives you a sense of place. So a suburban background obviously sounds much different from a New York City background, from an Old West background, from a sci-fi background, all these different things, and they're just used to give you that sense of place. What we do. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, what you do.
I was going to say what we do in everyday life is that we use the sounds surrounding us to kind of tell us where we are too. I mean, we can see, but some people can't see, so they rely exclusively on their ears to tell you where they are. And this is also a big factor in gaming, because you have to set a stage for that as well. And being able to have some believable sounds in there that you understand and that you can figure out where you're at, really. That wasn't a good sentence. Stephen wouldn't like that. But to figure out where you are.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because even the tone of your voice, if I were to say the word no and to say no, or no, or no, or no.
Right.
That tone, that sound changes the meaning.
Exactly.
And changes how you respond to what I said.
Right. And it's context. And sometimes that can be an issue, for instance, communicating with people in other languages.
Yeah.
Because their inflections are completely different, and you may misinterpret that to be something that it's not. So then
sound can control a situation.
It can.
Interesting.
It can, and it's not that we have to run around and be very careful about what we do and what we say and what we hear, but there are so many sounds around us that our brain has to process the ones that are important and kind of filter out the ones that are not important, and it does this like automatically. So. But we can talk about that later.
Yeah, we can. But now we're in this technology age. Do you think, if you think about how things were done before and how silence created mood, and now how we use much more sound to create a mood, pros and cons to both, either or?
They're both valid.
Yeah.
The absence of sound is just as powerful as sound itself. So I think it's two different approaches to gaining the same result, which is having or adding an impact to a film or to a production or to a situation.
And sound is another palette with which to paint. I know many artists say that the spaces are as important as the images that you paint, that you need that balance.
Yes, it's negative space.
Is there something that we need to then remember, because we live in a world that's full of sound and maybe we need to remember that negative space is important too?
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, more listening.
More listening.
More listening.
More listening. Yeah. But Greg and I are going to talk more about sound all around us the next time we chat, so stay tuned. Thanks for now.
You're welcome. Thank you.